Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another video. We gotta talk about a recent interview that Simguru Graham did with Games Radar. It's, well, interesting. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so the title says Simguru Graham on the future of The Sims 4. There's way more that we can still do with this title. The Sims 4 Snowy Escape offers more in-depth gameplay and new build options, so what's next for the longest running Sims title? The Sims 4 is the longest running Sims title of all time, with a community as vibrant as it is opinionated. With Snowy Escape, the latest expansion pack set in a Japanese-inspired mountain town, EA offers a lovely mix of content, some of which are expected responses to fan requests, and others which surprise even the most dedicated simmers. I guess that is a fairly accurate description of it. But with the arrival of Xbox Series X, the PlayStation 5, and improved PC graphics cards, it's only natural to pose the question, what's next for The Sims 4? Is it The Sims 5? With more open world options like the ones offered in popular mod Brook Heights? Heck yes, Arnie, get that promo! Or is Snowy Escape further proof that there's more to be mined from the reigning Sims title? I sat down with producer Graham Nardone, aka Simguru Graham, to chat about Snowy Escape, the Sims community, and the future of The Sims 4. Snowy Escape introduces two gameplay features, lifestyles and sentiments. I outline how lifestyles and sentiments work in more detail in the Sims 4 Snowy Escape preview. But in the simplest terms, they beef up the gameplay experience. The two features add complexity to Sims' personalities and their interpersonal relationships, ultimately deepening the simulation experience. It's what the community has relentlessly requested for so many years now. Yeah, I haven't had as much time to play with lifestyle since they're much longer term, but the sentiments, I'm really loving those so far. I think they're great. And while the Sims community has consistently asked for more in-depth life simulation elements, the requests have been for things like cars, yup, open world elements, and more rabbit hole type places like grocery stores and museums, which Sims can enter but the player cannot. With lifestyles and sentiments, we're getting more depth to the simulation, but in a way we did not technically ask for. Players did not expect that of us, Nardone admits, but it is something that they have been highly discussing and requesting. I think that increased depth to the simulation is a big thing for players. EA's strategy when filling a long time request for more depth is to occasionally subvert expectations. I think it's cool playing with those expectations a little bit, while still delivering on the things that people really want at that core level, Nardone says. But EA doesn't always flip the script when it comes to adding oft-requested content. I feel like the memes in the Sims community would say differently, you know, where it's like, oh, we want university, but here's Strangerville, like that sort of stuff. Sometimes they just deliver what was ordered. Just recently, the Sims 4 team broke ground on fixing its skin tone problem after years of Simmers creating mods that added more options for darker shades at a better quality than what the game offered. While there's more work to be done, yeah, there definitely is. The community as a whole has responded positively to this much needed attention. I really hope the December 8th update will actually fix the skin tones for real, because I'm really disappointed with what they've done so far. But in terms of like the sliders and the 100 plus new skin tones, that does look pretty good. But yeah, it is pretty humiliating that that custom content creators have done better skin tones than what EA has done for 6 years. Just wow, it's pretty bad. But there's more representation to be had, however. For years, Simmers have been requesting disability options like wheelchairs, disabled-friendly home objects, and service dogs. And EA is listening. We've had active outreach with players in the community and asked, what are better ways that we can represent you? What are some of the things that we can do to recreate those moments or lived experiences respectfully within The Sims 4, Nardone points out. I think the thing that we want to avoid is turning it into a feature. So I think what he means by into a feature is like not making a game pack, a disabilities game pack, because that would not be good. That would not be sensitive towards disabilities. It would be glorifying it, and it would just be like, it would not be good. The absolute way to do this sort of thing would be to put it in a free update for all players. And it's interesting seeing this addressed, because I think this is the first time any sim guru has addressed this in years. Because I remember, I think it was at least 2 years ago already, when Sim Guru Grant was saying that he did talk to some simmers about how they should go about putting disabilities in The Sims 4. And at this point I was thinking, well, I guess it's not happening anymore, because it's been years later, and nothing has happened in that department. So I was just thinking, okay, well, maybe whenever The Sims 5 comes around, then they'll do it then. So then they have the fresh start and they can include disabilities from the beginning. But this makes it sound like as if they still have plans to do it. It's just taking a long time, I suppose. So it's just like, okay, well, I guess we'll see what 2021 will bring, but I don't know. I still have a bit of doubt as to whether they would actually try to do this within The Sims 4, a 60-year-old game. But the next part says, less The Sims 5, more The Sims 4.5. It's safe to consider Snowy Escape a peek into what lies ahead for The Sims 4, at least in the game's near future. Snowy Escape is a large, expansive pack that includes dramatic gameplay changes and a groundbreaking build function platforms. For a base game that's already 6 years old, some of those changes will be included as a free update for Sims players who don't buy the pack. Lifestyles and sentiments are dramatic changes to the life simulation portion of The Sims 4. And while it's a welcome surprise, I'd argue it's the game's natural progression. For many who have played this game consistently for the past 6 years or even just recently, there's an almost uniform desire to dive deeper into interpersonal relationships and autonomous behavior. There needs to be more life in the life sim. Yeah, this definitely reflects a lot of the sentiments I've seen, no pun intended, about The Sims 4, where it's like, okay, the building is awesome. It's basically a building simulator at this point, though, that there isn't really enough depth to the Sims themselves, and only just now they're finally getting around to doing more. Like, yeah, there was the reputation system in Get Famous, which I thought was pretty cool, but, like, that was the only thing in the span of, like, years, and now they're finally doing more of this. But however, there's only so much that can be done to a base game that's 6 years old, and if the fake YouTube trailers have anything to say about it, The Sims 5 is at the forefront of the community's hive mind. Yeah, there are so many fake Sims 5 trailers on YouTube. I tried clicking on this earlier, and unfortunately the video's not there anymore, but you probably know what I am talking about. But while there will be some improvements to The Sims 4 on the Xbox Series X and PS5, there doesn't seem to be any plans to ride the next-gen wave with the new title anytime soon. For EA, The Sims 4, well, hasn't run dry. There's such a diverse range of topics and features that we could cover. The possibility of what we could do with The Sims 4 is just humongous. Nardone tells me when I ask about the potential of a new game. I think that just goes to show that there's way more that we can still do within this title, and our players are plenty hungry for more content that we can give. That's a good problem to have. I'd say that's a hard line no for The Sims 5, wouldn't you? Oh boy. I'm sorry, Sim Guru Graham. You are my favorite Sim Guru, but if what you're saying about this whole last part of the interview here is the truth, this is not it. Oh boy, just The Sims 4 is becoming so broken at this point. We've had 2 patches in a row especially that broke the game so much, and it's not great. It makes me very scared for what the future of The Sims 4 is going to bring. I don't think this game can handle that many more packs. If we go beyond 4 more full expansion packs for this game, I think the foundation of this game is just gonna crumble, and it's gonna be like The Sims 3. It's like to the point where like that game shades itself, where the launcher recommends you to not have all the expansions running at the same time. It is actually ridiculous. And I'm really concerned that The Sims 4 will get to that point too, as much as they are trying to be performance conscious and make the world smaller because of that and that sort of stuff. So it's just yikes. I mean, right now, I feel like I am at the point where I do want to enjoy the game to the fullest, between Snowy Escape, the free features we got alongside it, and also some of the recent mods that have come out. Like, I'm just ready to play the game and have a lot more fun with it, but the bugs are really getting in the way. This is not me saying, like, oh, I'm completely content with how The Sims 4 is right now. There's always going to be things that I want. I think it would be impossible to fulfill every single thing that I want for the game. But, I mean, yeah, there's still things that we should get, like generations, cars, improved babies, bands, and farming, and maybe, like, a couple other things, like hobbies. But, like, I hope there really isn't that much more other than that. And, oh, yeah, maybe, like, one or two more occults, but I think most of that stuff I could still be like, alright, well, we should go too much longer with The Sims 4 unless they plan to maybe keep The Sims 4 and The Sims 5 running alongside each other. Because they're doing that with The Sims Mobile and The Sims Freeplay right now, and they even have EA Fire Monkeys working on both those titles now. So it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that they could do that on the PC and Mac and console side too. So, in that case, okay, sure, maybe then keep The Sims 4 going for quite a while longer, but oh no, just don't keep it going for another 6 years. That would be way too much. I think that would be overkill, because, I mean, we eventually have to start over, just like with a video game console. There's only so much that you can do before you have to start over again, so that you can innovate and push even farther. Like, imagine if Nintendo just stuck with the NES the whole time. We were just playing that still in 2020, and the consoles after that never happened. No Super Nintendo, no Nintendo 64, no Nintendo Switch, no Wii, none of those consoles or any of the other ones that came out after that. So, like, especially since they have said that they cannot do open world in The Sims 4. They can't even do open districts because the code architecture does not support it, apparently. And I feel like we're never going to get a color wheel either. And yeah, I just feel like, especially for those things, like, that alone really warrants, I think, a whole new base game eventually. They shouldn't just leave it at The Sims 4 for the last Sims game ever. Plus, they're also getting competition soon. Like, there's Paralives and Little Sim World, and who knows, maybe there's even more Life Sims that are in development that we don't know about yet. But there's just reasons to keep going with more base games in the future. Like, okay, if they made The Sims 5 and they had a rock-solid foundation with many of the features that we would come to expect in a base game and not leave toddlers, ghosts, and pools, and terrain tools, and other vital stuff out, and they have open districts or open worlds and color wheels and better diversity from the outset without having to buy packs or waiting many years for updates with us screaming at the top of our lungs, then sure, keep that running for a decade or so. But The Sims 4 is too shaky, I think, to keep going for 10 years possibly. I don't know. Just like, I really hope The Sims 4 doesn't last for that much amount of time. Like, I'm hoping that in a realistic sense that The Sims 5 would come out in 2023, even though I would like it a little bit sooner, like 2022, with the last year of The Sims 4 being next year. But eventually, we just gotta move on. If they did support The Sims 4 and The Sims 5 at the same time, I think that could also give them license to not hold back so much with The Sims 5. Then they could maybe target more like mid-range computers while The Sims 4 is marketed as the low-end product. So then maybe we could get full-on open worlds like The Sims 3 and maybe not have to put in as many sort of, like, limitations on it so that we don't have, like, a repeat of The Sims 3 and, how unstable that game got. But, yeah, this really... I mean, I guess it's not a surprise that Simgru Graham said what he said in this interview, but I really hope that this is not, like, the full truth. I mean, they even say, like, oh, that we fix certain bugs in a patch, but then they're actually not fixed at all. Because, I think I even remember one of the sim gurus saying, like, when was it? I think it was a little bit before Island Paradise came out, that the sim gurus said that, oh, like, The Sims 3 has plenty of life left. Or wait, no, with Island Paradise, The Sims 4 was already announced by then. But basically, like, yeah, like, the sim guru said that, oh, I think The Sims 3 has plenty of life left. But then months later, The Sims 4 was announced, so while even in this interviewer's opinion, they said, oh, maybe it is a hardline no, I would disagree. I think there is still a chance that it's like, you know, like if they said, well, maybe there is a new game around the corner, then that could hurt the sales of The Sims 4. So, yeah, it's definitely an interesting topic to discuss. Oh, like, what is The Sims 5 gonna come around? I mean, we've had 4 games. I don't think we're just not going to have The Sims 5 ever unless something really disastrous happens. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below of this interview. And be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with my latest content from The Sims, Paralive, Sonic the Hedgehog, and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day! Thanks for watching! I still don't know how I want to do, like, these sign-offs, but I'm on camera, so I don't know. Wave my arms frantically in the air, I suppose.